Welcome back to another week. Events are flying in the Middle East, and of course, here to dissect them and introduce them, we have Elon. How are you doing, brother?
Okay. I'm very well indeed, thank you, Jay. Yes. So, okay, to start the ball rolling, I've got some small items here, but then there's two major items that will fill the thing. So I'll just do the small ones first. Um, I caught this a few days ago. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Ellie Cohen. The audio.
Yes,
Ellie Cohen was the spy who penetrated right to the highest echelon of the Syrian high command in the 1960s. Well, apparently his remains are mooted to be returned from Syria now, because the this is quite a development in a sense because they've been trying to get them returned for decades. But now, for whatever reason, the new regime in Syria is offering to return them. So we shall wait and see if that actually happens. Um, Another thing that came up, Tucker Carlson was arguing on the television, or whatever, not television, sorry, on social media, that Israel is an insignificant US ally because it's a small country. But again, this kind of displays his ignorance that because Israel's GDP is greater than that of Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon combined. You know, and it's actually got a greater GDP than Qatar, which so even though Israel is tiny, it's a little powerhouse actually. It punches far above its weight as an economic power. That was quite
yeah.
interesting.
He's a worthless anti-Semitic bum anyway, like Candace Owen.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do believe he's a genuine anti-Semite. Yeah, as is Candice. There's no doubt about it. Another thing that came up. I've only seen a small report on this, but apparently the Syrian regime now it's requesting from Vladimir Putin that he put Russian troops on the Golan Heights. Um, he's asking Putin to send Russian troops to the Golan Heights to prevent Israeli violations. If this is an example of his leadership, the reporter writes, Syria has bigger problems than we thought. Um, we'll probably be discussing this later on in the program, but of course, now that there's some kind of ceasefire and tentative peace, what the first thing that happens, of course, apart from the other violations of the peace agreement, the Gazans have started killing each other. Of course, the
Yes,
Hamas has already murdered several hundred from the opposing clans, and well, this was really not unforeseen because this is what they do when they haven't got Jews to kill. They just kill each other. 'Cause it's a
yes,
violent culture. And another thing that came up. This is a strange episode. There was this whale shark that's been hovering around the beaches near Tel Aviv for some time now, and they actually the bathers stayed out of the water so as not to disturb it because it's quite rare. It's quite a rare creature, and they even named it Ofek, which anyway, unfortunately, this poor creature swam a bit further south, and of course, it got near the Gaza coast, and the first thing they did was capture it, kill it, and parade it through the streets. All too reminiscent of what they did on the 7th of October 2 years ago. It seems to be par for the course with the
yes,
the Gazans, really. If it's they do routinely also torture animals, dogs and cats and other things as well. The As part of their brutalization training for kids and things. Uh, Something else that came up here that was reported was I don't know, you might have already seen this, that there was a mustard gas terror attack that was thwarted in the UK. someone was actually producing mustard gas in order to use it against Jews. The man had also explored the possibility of getting to Gaza to fight alongside the Hamas. Now, mustard gas is a particularly nasty um, chemical warfare agent. I mean, really is nasty. It leaves horrible burns on people and burns all your mucous membranes and everything like that. And it's a very nasty, nasty substance because even if you don't inhale it, it gets in your clothes and burns your skin and all kinds of stuff. So this was good that this actually got stopped. Now, the two biggest stories actually this week um, are have a connection, a very strong connection with Britain because of the first one, of course, is the Tommy Robinson visit. I mean, Tommy's over here for at least I think till early November, and he's been touring the country, and of course, he's gone to the site of the Nova massacre, and but also a number of other sites too. And he's here at the invitation of Amichai Chikli. Chikli is the minister for the diaspora, and this, of course, this has been heavily criticised by the political establishment in the UK, who have labelled him a fascist thug. But that's not the opinion of Israelis, actually. They're very positive about him and they believe him to be a genuine supporter of Israel and someone who loves the Jewish people. And a couple of things that Tommy has said while he's been over here, and I thought this is quite insightful, because he addressed some of these remarks to President Trump, and he responded to Trump's Knesset speech, and what he said was that this peace deal or this new era is not will not really be peace at all. He said, "You're never going to have peace when you're surrounded by jihad. You are still surrounded by people who wish to wipe Israel off the face of the map. You're still surrounded by them." And he says, Israel and the West. No, I see Israel. If Israel falls, we all fall. If Israel falls, we all fall. Now, on October the 8th, Hamas made it very clear that Israel is not the target. London, New York is. I understand that, whether it be Hamas, whether it be Hezbollah, whether it be Boko Haram, whether it be ISIS, all of these groups run off the same ideology, which is for Islamic supremacy and domination worldwide. It's not just about Israel. Mein Kampf is 70% Jew hatred. The Quran is 11% of Muhammad hated the Jews. You know, so he understands. I think he sees the what's happening here as a kind of um, what's the word, a harbinger of what will happen in the West. And also, the article went on, or another guy commented on this, and he said that that Tommy Robinson is 1000% Britain first. He's walking this land not as a tourist, but as a man who loves his own country and fears for its future. He looks at Israel's war and doesn't see something distant. He sees a nation fighting to survive under political and ideological siege, the same kind of siege that Britain is facing from within. I'm not in his head, but it's clear he's taking notes. And let me be very clear, we in Israel don't see his visit as a PR moment. Frankly, we don't care much about how the world views us anymore, but we do care about the future of Britain, because the nightmare scenario, the unthinkable, would be Britain becoming the first nuclear-armed Muslim country. Right now, like it or not, Tommy might be Britain's last real hope. Godspeed, Tommy. I thought that's quite interesting. I do believe that Tommy Robinson is significant, because as far as the populist um, uh, section of British society is, who are genuinely concerned about the direction of the country. It's not insignificant what the amount of influence now that is building on the right side. Um, So the next major thing was, of course, there've been anti-Jewish riots in Amsterdam and also in Italy. These are all connected at the moment with the international football games. One was the match with I don't know if it was Maccabi Tel Aviv against Ajax in Amsterdam, and the other one was in Udine in Italy. And the same thing is that, pro-Palestinian protesters were hunting down Jews and causing destruction. The Amsterdam one was particularly nasty. It was like a pogrom. Now, this all reflects forward into this decision by the in Birmingham to ban Israeli football fans from attending the match of Maccabi Tel Aviv versus Aston Villa, I think. And this has caused a big stink because on the surface it's like they're saying, oh, we don't want Israelis over here because we're frightened for their safety, because there might be a riot. Now, of course, well, that sounds commendable, but it's a bit disturbing. As one person put it, I think this was Melanie Phillips. She was saying that the ban on Israeli fans attending Villa Park for next month's fixture between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Aston Villa. And she said, if we are saying that our police force cannot protect people going about their lawful business in this country, then we have a very, very serious problem here. This ban is a shocking failure to safeguard law-abiding citizens from extremist intimidation. Now, one of the things that came out about this was that this ban has been mooted quite some time ago. And even though people have been saying that they've been ignorant of it, like Keir Starmer saying that he knew nothing about it, Shabana Mahmoud's own the Home Office was told about this decision about to ban the Israeli fans last week. So she also knew, did nothing, while still saying that she would do everything to protect Jews. Now, there's also some behind all of this, there is another layer underneath of it, and this is one Labour MP, Iqbal Mohammed. And first of all, he says, "Thank you all who put the safety of Aston Villa Thank you all who have put the safety of Aston Villa fans, Birmingham residents, and the British public above the Zionist and political pressure to let Israeli hooligans and terrorists run riot in our country. I welcome the news that Maccabi Tel Aviv fans will not be permitted to watch the match at Aston Villa. Well done to all those that signed our petition." And so, behind all of this is a stream of Muslim anti-Semitism. I mean, for example, Iqbal Mohammed again, it says it's beyond despicable that the BBC, aka the Israeli Propaganda Corporation, well, that's a joke. The BBC is one of the worst anti-Israel things. Anyway, and other mainstream media are more upset and foaming at the mouth by the banning of violent racist Israeli football hooligans from a football match than they have been about the two years plus of genocide, mass murder, and starvation of babies, children, men, and women. Why does Israel get to compete in Europe and Palestinian teams can't compete anywhere? Sport washing must end now. The Zionist propaganda, deception, and the conflation of the criticism of Israeli and/or Zionist crimes, violence, and racism with anti-Semitism will not work anymore. The game is up.
Munich is a real reason why Palestinians don't really compete in sports.
There are a number of, well, for a start, there isn't any Palestine. That should be one reason why, but it doesn't exist, But
no, but usually when they go to sporting events, bad things tend to happen.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of the Munich 1972,
Yes.
But underneath, of course, this just gets worse, of course, because the Zara Sultan, another Labour MP, another Muslim Labour MP, says next UEFA must ban all Israeli teams. We cannot have normalization with genocide and apartheid. I mean, this stuff is such a load of nonsense. And and Keir Starmer, has been saying it's just recently been saying that, oh, it's terrible, this is all bad, and this shouldn't be happening, this ban. But it's come to light that in 2015, the Prime Minister himself, Keir Starmer, spoke at an anti-Jewish event calling for Jews to be banned in football. And he stood in front of a great big poster saying, "Kick Israeli racism out of FIFA." So the hypocrisy here is on steroids. Um, you know, and I think finally he's now saying that they'll make every effort to enable the Maccabi Tel Aviv football fans to attend the match.
Hello.
But anyway, so that's two large stories, um, and there's a short thing at the end, um, where this actually appeared in on X, and it was, of course, this is Mandani in the the mayoral candidate for New York, and the Democrats who back Israel or who are pro-Israel should be excluded and not welcome in his coalition. Um, and also, again, in the UK, someone was, this is Dr. Sholamos Shogbamimu, or whatever his name is, and he's calling for, I don't know what he's actually involved with, but he was saying that we must de-Zionize Britain, just as Germany was denazified. Start with removing Zionists from every position of power, banning Zionist ideology, proscribing Zionist lobby group organizations as a terror organization, and Zionism is the big brother or to white supremacy. It is evil. Of course, by Zionists, he simply means Jews. But these two parallel cases, they're very much like what you saw. If this ever gets put into action, it's very like what happened in Nazi Germany before in about 1933. Jews were purged from the civil service, for example. That was one of
Uh,
the early things that happened before they were excluded from public life.
it seems to me that there's probably more Islamists in the British government
Oh, there's a
uh,
lot.
than there really are Zionists.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
what can we talk about the Islamification of the British government and bureaucracy?
There is a lot, particularly in the Home Office. But of course, you've got, I mean, it's absolutely full of them, but that's an important government body, very important, the Home Office. It's very influential. But you've got the Secretary of State for Education, or the Minister for Education is also another Islamist. It's everywhere. You've got so many mayors now in Britain, Birmingham, Birmingham, Rochdale, all these places, big places, big towns, and now have Islamic mayors. It's extremely concerning, and
Hmm.
so yeah, but the in the justice system too is well penetrated by this. I mean, the fact that they're allowed to have 85, I think, at the last count, Sharia courts working in the UK. This is a completely separate legal system.
That
Go on.
makes no sense to me. I mean, if he wants to
Absolutely,
talk
yeah.
about denazification, let's talk about the religion that is conquering Europe, like the Nazis. Let's
Yes,
talk
yeah.
about the Middle East. I mean, the Middle East is completely conquered by
Mostly,
Islam.
yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm failing to make the connection of getting rid of Zionists in government, like the denazification of Germany. How about the denazification or the de-Islamization of Mecca? How
Mm,
about that?
yes. Yes, it's not it's one law for them and something different for everybody else. Yeah,
That
well, of
that
course, but
that
that's the
is
way
very
Islam
true.
works, isn't it? It has its own,
Yes,
anyone who's not a Muslim is a second-class citizen. to say
And they
the
like it
least.
like that.
Yes,
Thank you again for
yes, it was.
your
Yes.
insight in what is going on in Israel. Take care.